Welcome back, race fans, to episode number 9 of the Armchairs Racers podcast. I am your host, Tommy Joe, introducing you to...
Alex Reckless.
And this is episode 9.
Said episode 9.
I know.
Okay.
So, how was your weekend?
I actually watched a lot of the racing.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I watched the Indy race. It was on. I was home. Mel was busy for a lot of the weekend. I saw them Friday, but they had stuff on Saturday, Sunday, so, I watched all the racing on Saturday and Sunday. Watched the Indy race, the truck race, and then Xfinity, and then Saturday was Indy and NASCAR. And on Sunday as well was the Mets and Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
They both won.
You scared me for a second when you said, and I thought you were going to talk about, that weird league from Europe.
They raced as well, right?
They did race.
They had a race that was at, I don't know.
They had the Australian Grand Prix.
Oh,
and just to get
Australia.
To get this out of the way, apparently it was a shit show. They red flagged the race 3 times.
Really?
And then they restarted the race the last time just to cross the finish line.
And that was it?
Why
was it red flagged?
I don't know. And then apparently at the end of the race, I saw a video of... Because apparently at the end of the race, they opened the gates and you could walk on the track.
Okay.
As cars were going by, there were people on the track. I don't know if they were racing still or just, cool down lap, but there were people on the track. And then everyone just stormed the track. Mm. And people, someone was trying to walk out the front gate with a wing, like a nose. And they got stopped. I know
Australia's lawless, but come on.
And it's kind of funny because, at a NASCAR race, sometimes, I don't know about now with the next-gen car, but, back in the day, if there was scrap, sometimes they would just give it to you.
Yeah.
But this person just stole the nose cone. I don't know how they got it.
That's funny.
But, apparently, there's a lot of...
sounds like chaos.
Yeah. Very hectic, I heard. I didn't watch any of it. But yeah.
By the time when it was on live, we were sleeping.
Yeah. So it was all the way in Australia. Yeah. That's probably what it is. Probably cars being upside down in Australia.
But yeah, so I started with the Indy race. Started with the Indy race Sunday. The Mets and Rangers started. Started watching in between. Then I was watching those. And I was falling asleep. Mets and Rangers won. The race started. I put that on. It's half asleep for that. I think I woke up at the start of the second stage, and then I started really watching that.
Yeah, I remember I was asking if anyone's watching the race right now, and then you're like, "Oh, I just woke up."
It's a long day.
I know we'll get into it, but I gotta say that Richmond race was really entertaining. Mm-hmm. As far as it's definitely not the best race of the year. I still think that goes to Fontana as the best race of the year so far. But it was not the worst race, I can tell you that without a doubt, and it was definitely one of the better Richmond races we had in years.
In a long time.
So maybe their short track package is working and Phoenix just sucks that bad.
It's the fact that it's all paved.
Yeah.
Phoenix sucks now.
Mm-hmm. But,
how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. We actually hung out Saturday, if you forgot.
Oh yeah, you did come over. We watched the race.
Yeah,
we were watching. Oh my god!
Was that the truck race that we watched?
I think the truck race.
Yeah. That was the truck race that we watched, and we did some more work on the camper.
Yeah, just had it open. I had to open up because we had it open, and
we opened it up and it was gonna rain, and we're like, oh, because the rain so it was supposed to storm really bad,
and it kept getting pushed back,
but. It kept getting pushed back, and the storm was getting smaller. So I figured, it might not be that bad. Why don't we leave it open and see how it does in the rain? Only to find out right after I left.
It was tornado warnings across New Jersey.
Yeah, the rain was coming down sideways. It wasn't even coming down. It was just going sideways. And I told up Alex, and I was like, "Hey, we should probably take this down." And then it was like Bristol, wasn't it?
It was raining sideways as I was putting it down.
Yeah.
It was pitch black except for all the lightning strikes as I was trying to put this thing away. I threw the metal bars that supported the beds under the thing.
Yeah.
A couple of the bungees actually kind of, because I forgot to get all of them, pushed it in, ripped them.
Well, we can get new bungee cords, right?
I used, I think some of the ones that were replaced, I used hair ties.
Oh, okay.
I think I want to get like a heavy duty stapler because there's a couple that are like the first ones on like all of them on the inside are ripped where the ring was, so I just staple that and then put another one. But otherwise, it did survive. When I texted you, the whole side, the big window, the whole side was down when I opened it.
Ooh.
But you called me, I'm like, yeah, so it's really just, the whole thing is just clips.
Okay.
There's like a plastic line, and you like fold over, and you just clip it in.
I was worried that we had an issue, because I didn't see you message me. And then there was like a half hour ago, I'm like, uh-oh, let me call. Because if you're asking for help, you need help. But other than that, my weekend was Saturday was eventful, but
Saturday was eventful.
Uneventful. I mean, Saturday was eventful with that, but the rest of the week was pretty uneventful. Saturday, I watched the INDYCAR race while editing the last week's episode. I was real late to get into that, but I wanted to make sure I had everything, I had time for it all, and got it out. Watched the INDYCAR race while I was doing the podcast, and then I did the YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check that out. We now have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have YouTube, and we also have TikTok now.
You gotta make TikToks.
Oh, I will. I mean, because like TikToks,
Excuse me.
I want to find like funny bits of the episodes and kind of promote them a little bit. And then if we don't have anything funny, like when we go to racetracks, I could use that as content. You know what I mean? Or I could just find stuff on the internet and share it.
I have an Instagram called NASCAR Creatures.
NASCAR Creatures, you do.
And there's still just the one post of the dude with the fucking dinosaur inflatable. So like, I'm sure there's something in some of my videos that we could probably put.
For sure.
But I do, like, we could use that for, like, we could have people, like, send in videos.
And, like,
do that for our Instagram.
We'll give you guys credit. Don't worry about that. But yeah, Sunday was, Sunday I spent it with Jill and her family, and that was
fun.
That was fun.
Nice.
Got to watch the race there, and it's always a good time to watch a decent race at Richmond.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Monday I was under the weather, and I went ham with the notes on Monday. It's because I called out of work, and then I got everything all written up nice and well for us.
Okay.
So we have 4 races to talk about. Which one do you want to dive into first?
What was the first?
Or actually, we have some more talking points first.
Well, there's the week.
Yeah.
In review.
So we'll do that first. Getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So in addition to the camper, we are now going to Dover for the weekend.
We are.
So
confirmed.
We're confirmed. We're going to Dover. We're showing up Saturday in the morning, and we're leaving Sunday night.
Excuse me.
And you guys going to Dover? Come out, meet us. I don't know if you want anything. I don't know if I have anything to give, but I can give my shitty opinion. Al can give his shitty opinion. And you can tell us to fuck off.
It's definitely a shit fuck.
Yeah, it is a shit fuck.
It's a
Our
shit
opinions
take.
are like
my opinion is a shit take.
Yes. I'm excited for Dover. It's going to be our first race weekend of the year. Going to finally give a good test run in the camper.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then in other news that came out last week.
Did you make it? Did you
No,
add
because
a little?
I don't have this date here.
Could have done a little shitty fucking phone like Bob Popgrass does.
I'm kind of anal like that.
I know, but
I could have. But you know what? I'll probably do it this week because I know tomorrow is the appeal for Haley.
Okay.
And then, maybe I could make that TikTok stuff. Like the little bits that we missed during the week, I'll just make a quick little TikTok.
I mean, NASCAR on Fox, you get Bob Popgrass that does this.
We could do that.
Hey guys, this just came out, and he does it like a goddamn boomer, and it's just like, I'm using your phone, but
with
like
the dirtiest glasses ever.
Like, you get just his nose, just his nose, and it's like, hey.
But Bob, don't take that the wrong way. We love you.
Love Bob.
We love Bob.
Bob's the best.
Yes. I would definitely say Fox has the better journalists and announcers.
I can't say, like, who...
Well, I mean, I could say off the bat, my favorite guys, Bob Popgrass, as far as announcers go, Larry McReynolds, Mike Joy, I like Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer.
I don't
in
know
the
why
booth.
people hate Clint.
I mean, he just gives that other personality. It'd be interesting to see. Kurt's been doing more time with Fox now.
Yeah.
Like with like the pre-race stuff, and he did Dakota, but he's been doing like more pre-race stuff.
Okay.
Like I know he was doing the pre-race for what was it at Richmond this week. I mean, I also like Steve Letarte. I like Dale Jr. I mean, he could be a bit more annoying than Clint Boyer sometimes. But
Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton are the... First of all, they sound the same.
So...
And they both just yell.
You know what the funny thing with NBC? They have 4 guys and 2 sounds. You have you have Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton, and then you have Steve Letarte and Kyle Petty. They sound identical. Because, like, you have to, like, give it, like, a couple words to see who's talking, whether it's Jeff Burton or Dale Jr., and you have to give a couple words to see if it's Steve Letarte or Kyle Petty. Because they sound, like, hearing about them, like, hearing them, like, not talk with each other, they sound nothing alike. But when you all put them in the same room, because I remember, like, during COVID, they had the, remember they had that invitational race NBC had at, Virtual Rockingham. No. Steve Letarte put the whole thing together.
Okay.
And he's talking like, yeah, it goes, oh, so we're, like, they're not saying names, they're just, like, talking to them. And, like, Steve Letarte's talking, and I keep thinking that Kyle Petty's talking. He wasn't even in the booth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would Kyle Petty have all these, like, says, like, Steve Letarte? And then I realized, oh, that's Steve Letarte talking. Like, they sound so similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think if you could get Steve Letarte over on the Fox side, and you get the NBC, like the overall broadcast of the race, you get that with the guys at Fox. It's the mint, because I mean, the Fox race coverage, like the actual, visuals of the race suck. They're getting a little better, but Also in the group chat. Dominic pointed out, do you think there was less commercials with FS1?
I don't know.
Because he said he felt like there were less commercials. I didn't notice it. But like I would imagine that, if you're going to sponsor a commercial during a race, you'd rather Fox than FS1. You know what I mean? Just because Fox is going to have more pull than FS1.
Possibly. I didn't really pay much attention. Like I said, I was half asleep. And then when I woke up, it was kind of just like... I was kind of background. But I don't know. I just think there's a lot of commercials in general.
Yeah. But to get into this stuff that we missed over the week, the Hendrick Motorsports appeal was partially overturned. The monetary fine still stands, but the points are returned to the teams. What's your take?
NASCAR wants Hendrick Motorsports to win the championship.
Not your boomer take. Your actual take. Because you're smart enough to know that NASCAR is not the appeals board.
I know. That's the other thing, is they're not. There's a whole separate group of people on the appeal board. And NASCAR's actually upset that it got half overturned. Like, Hendrick Motorsports has the money to hand out. They don't.
They do. I mean, the $400,000 fine. I mean, okay, it's gonna hurt a little bit. It's gonna sting, but it's not. It's not the same to like.
Oh, ow! Yeah. My pocket.
That's probably a write-off. Yeah. Like, I mean, I really don't know how I feel. If they can give the same, if they do the same for Colleague, because I really don't think Colleague touched him at all. You don't think so? I don't think. Why would they modify one? Because only one was bad. Okay. Like, as far as the Hendrick Motorsports things go, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. It's either they get the penalty or they don't. Yeah. They break the rules or they didn't break the rules. And I don't know if they're waiting for the Colleague hearing because it's so similar. I don't know if they're waiting for that to come out first before they say why they did what they did.
Apparently it's a different... Oh, Hendrick say what?
Yeah, like why they said the monetary fine was okay, but the point fine wasn't okay. Like, I don't know if that's, like, in the rule book. Like, I don't know if in the rule book it's and/or
well, apparently
terminology. Because I remember last year with William Byron, they stated this rule in the rule book saying that, hey, it could be, it's either the points or it's the fine. And then they said, well, we'll take the fine, but, give him back the points. Which ultimately screwed Kyle Larson, because if William Byron got fined, Kyle Larson would have made it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think maybe the appeals people, the appeal board was thinking, yes, they altered them, and that's against the rules. But that weekend, they did not qualify or race with these modified louvers.
Well, apparently in the rule book, the car has to come off the truck legal.
Right.
Apparently. So I want to know where it says in, like, what the ruling is in this appeal. Like, what rules did they look at and say, hey, you could do this, like, you could find him this, but you can't find him that. Right. I really want to see.
That's the only way I think, like, okay, yes, they came off the truck, they were modified, so, like, penalize them. But they didn't race with them, so, like, they deserve those points.
Like,
that's the only way I could think of why.
There's fishiness on both sides.
Yeah.
There's fishiness on Hendrick's side, and also the way that NASCAR handled it. They looked at him, said, all right.
Practice, the first practice.
And then after practice, no, we got to take those.
Yeah.
And then they raced with the, like, where did those louvers come from?
Yeah.
Were they louvers they had in the truck? Because why would you have spare louvers?
Right.
Yeah.
Or
was that louvers that NASCAR gave them?
Mm-hmm.
Where did the louvers they put on the car, where did they come from? Because if they had louvers on the truck that fit, why didn't they put those on to begin with? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and I try not to be biased. I mean, clearly I'm a Kyle Larson fan. We're Hendrick Motorsports fans, but, like, I'm trying to make sense of
the penalty, and now the outcome.
Yeah, I think that if Colleague's penalty is upheld, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's clear as day favoritism towards Hendrick Motorsports, and I don't like that. Hey, that
makes everybody look bad.
Yeah,
the fans, the people, the NASCAR, it makes everybody look bad.
Like, honestly, for the Colleague, I'm hoping the whole thing gets appealed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I honestly hope that the whole thing gets appealed for Colleague, and I'd be happy with that because I really don't think that they
have nothing to gain from modifying anything.
No, because look what it did to Justin Haley. He's negative points.
Yeah.
They aren't in a position to do that.
No. They have no. I don't know about monetary, but
well, Chris Rice has a lot of money. Colleague Industries is
Well, yeah, true.
That's not. It's $100,000. It stings a little bit, but it's not. It's not going to bankrupt Colleague Racing. You know what I mean?
But still, like you said, even points they're in no place to really try and. Everybody cheats, but
they all cheat. But if you get caught, it's just weird because it was taken after. Like, it was okay, and then it wasn't
for all of them.
Yeah, like, it was okay, and then it wasn't okay. So it's kind of like, what's going on here, Like, nothing seems kosher on either side, except for Colleague. Because I really feel like Colleague is innocent.
And again, it's one louver.
Yeah, one.
Not both on the car.
And again, where did their louver come from? Mm-hmm. Because they took both louvers, and then they had two others to put on. So, like, was that louvers that they had in the truck? Or was that louvers that NASCAR gave them? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's also odd that it was just Chevy that it happened to as well.
Yeah.
But, if it is the case where these parts aren't right out of the box, like we said on a prior episode, that's something that has to be taken up between NASCAR, the teams, and the supplier. Mm-hmm. Because you can't be having that, If parts don't fit, that's an issue. That's a big issue, you know what I mean? Especially when now that NASCAR is saying, hey, even if you do modify it because it doesn't fit, we're still going to penalize you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then,
that because now, what's like,
you can't. The car in general is just not going to pass.
Yeah.
It's not in shape. Especially with these laser scans, like, anything that's out of line is going to fail. If something's not going to fit, the whole car is going to be out of place. So, what are you going to do?
Exactly. But yeah, so Colleague appeal is going to be held tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, tomorrow from when we're recording. Today's the the 4th, right? Yeah. So tomorrow is the appeal for Colleague on the 5th, and then Denny's appeal is set for the 6th.
Still for his fucking comment appeal.
So I'll make sure I'll probably post both those as short little segments. It'll be separate from the podcast itself.
Okay.
That'll be short little segments that I'll do on TikTok, and I'll share it on Facebook and this and that.
Okay.
Yeah. So for Denny, do you think that the penalty should stand?
Only because of the comments he made.
Now,
that is why they're doing this. They said because again, all of this happened after his podcast.
Yeah.
And NASCAR said, after hearing Denny's comments, we're looking into this. He never said anything. It's boys have at it. It is.
Is it still boys have at it?
Yes.
Because I feel like the only time boys have at it is when you get into a fist fight. Because I don't think I've seen anyone been fined for fighting.
No, and now.
But when you use your car as a weapon.
Yeah.
Or not a weapon, but when you use your car to retaliate.
Did Denny get fined when he went after Bowman at Martinsville?
No.
Okay. Boys have at it.
But you see that was weird too, because like that.
That was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was worse than this Ross situation.
Yeah, because what if he's on bug? I thought he was going to get out of the car and just straight like knock him out.
Then he started running into Bowman's car.
Yeah.
At Martinsville, and last year, and
2 years ago.
2 years ago, right? And what if Bowman was on the front stretch after celebrating? Like,
yeah,
he could be unbuckled, ready to get out,
and
get this is what we talked about with Suarez.
Yeah.
But he didn't get penalized for that. This situation that he had at Phoenix, I think is a boys have at it. He got his retaliation. The fact that he said, I'm not going to finish well, neither is he. That is straight out saying, I'm going to change the outcome, the position.
Of him, yeah.
That is illegal. You cannot do that. If he didn't say anything on his podcast, there'd be no fine. That's why NASCAR's looking into this situation. He deserves his fine.
Do you think his incident with J.J. Yaley this week, do you think that alters the outcome of his appeal?
It shouldn't, because it's completely different.
But now this is now twice this year he's done this. Granted he didn't say, "Oh, I just went and wrecked him," but it was funny because when they spun him out, they just happened to be on his driver cam, like his helmet cam.
Yeah, that too.
And he just drives right into him.
Yeah. He also wasn't retired. There was no.
It was no retaliation. It was lap 32.
There was no
Why
reason for him to
get
into. This is something that we're supposed to talk about.
I know, but it kind of fits in with what we're talking about.
I don't think that should play into. Because again, the fine that he is appealing is about him saying he altered. It's about his comments. It's not about the action that he did. It's about his comments. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And he should be fined on his comments. So, the appeal board should uphold the fine.
Do you think completely, or do you think they should?
Yeah.
So you think he should be docked points? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Based on his opinions, based on his comments, which is what he's being fined for, yes.
Because I feel like if he came out at any point, so do you think there's a statute of limitations? Like, let's say Ross comes out this week and says, "Hey, you know what? I intentionally wrecked Denny at Gateway. I don't like Denny. And I just straight dumped him, and does he get penalized for that? I guess
because
that was last year.
Maybe a monetary, but at this point, what are they gonna find?
Like if Denny said it this week about Ross at Phoenix, does he still get penalized?
I guess not.
Because I feel like there's a statute of limitations on when you can rat yourself out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because people will go on Dale Jr.'s podcast and talk about the way their own innovations. Years and years later.
Yeah.
How the most two that pop in my head have to be Darrell Waltrip with the lead shot that he had in the rails, the frame rails, so the car would pass weight, and then when they were on the track, there was a lever he would open up and they would come out. It was just BBs,
Uh-huh.
And NASCAR eventually started finding these BBs on the track. Like, where the fuck are they coming from? And the hole was right underneath where the jack was. So where you jack the car up. So you jack the car up, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
And then I remember someone else got in trouble for it, and even though then they jacked the Doug Waltrip's car because it got stuck. It wasn't coming out, and then I think they all came out all at once. And that's when it was like, oh, what the hell is this?
I never heard of
it. And he never got caught until he admitted it years later. Or like,
well, what are they gonna do? You can't do. There's only so much you could do after the fact. So,
I think it was it Andy Petrie? I think it was Andy Petrie when he was, forgot what team it was, but when they were at Daytona, he had the idea to make a spoiler that would automatically adjust itself during qualifying. So he got the idea from his rental car, which had
one of those
self-closing hood, self-closing trunks. Like, he closed it and then it would come down, and he ripped it out of that one, and then someone else had the same car, ripped it out of that one, and he rigged it so you would flip a switch and the spoiler would go down, and if you hit it, it wouldn't move, but once you found the switch when you're qualifying, the spoiler would go down, so they would get more speed.
Yeah,
I mean. So clearly there has to be a statute of limitations,
yeah, I mean,
because I feel like if that isn't at the racetrack, if someone put a microphone in his face, because did it on purpose, sure as shit he'd be fucking penalized. But he did it the day after.
Still.
I mean, I still think you have to be responsible for your actions.
Yeah.
I admire his honesty.
Yeah.
But he's a hypocrite.
I mean, we're going to get into that later.
Well, we are. So, you have more you want to say, or?
There is. You're right.
Or do you want to wait?
Statute of limitations, but you can't be saying that stuff right after.
No.
He deserves what the fine that he was assessed. And I don't care what he thinks.
No.
Because he takes 2 fingers up the butt.
So I guess to segue into the weekend, we have 4 races here to pick from. Which one do you want to head into first?
What was the first race of the weekend? Trucks, right?
Actually, it was Xfinity, wasn't it?
So then let's talk about Xfinity. We'll just go through,
All right. So the first race of the weekend was Xfinity. We touched about this right before starting the podcast, but practice and qualifying was rained out at a short track with a wet weather package. And then the race was also rain delayed to dry the track to start the race.
I mean,
it was like 20-40 minutes of a delay before they started the race. I mean
the practice and qualifying, the short track is the short track wet, the damp.
Yeah.
It's damp. So for when it's raining, practice qualifying, yes. Cancel that. I don't even think even in damp they should be doing that. It's not worth it. For the race, I guess, I don't know. Unless, 20 minutes isn't, they didn't have to worry about, where Richmond has lights and...
Yeah.
And there was nobody going after them. It wasn't a double header.
Well, the only thing they had to worry about was finishing the race before the truck race started.
Yeah,
because they were both on FS1.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could have moved one to Fox or FS2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they have the damp package on the Xfinity as well, they might as well could have, gone with it. But I don't guess they didn't feel like it. I don't know.
I
don't know what the reason is.
I just found it strange. That's all.
It is. It's.
But did you watch the Xfinity race? Because I caught like the tail end of it. I caught the beginning and then the tail end.
So that's the one race I didn't catch. Because I started watching the truck, I think, with you. Right? We were watching the truck together.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mustn't. I'm sorry. I saw the.
Oh, you know what? I was watching the Xfinity race when I was doing the podcast, not the INDYCAR race. Mm-hmm. When was I watching the INDYCAR race?
So I must have missed. I guess I didn't. I thought I must have had it on, but I guess I didn't watch it.
I mean, you didn't really miss much. You know, the first two stages are pretty uneventful. Mm-hmm. Chandler Smith wins stage 1, Josh Berg wins stage 2, and then later on in stage 3, Jeremy Clemens makes he stalls out on pit road, bringing out the first caution.
On pit road?
Yeah, so he was slowing down. He was off pace. He slows down, and I guess his engine went, or something went. And he's coasting down pit road, and he can't get to his pit stall, and then he ends up stopping on pit road. Brings out the first real caution of the race in stage 3.
I feel like that shouldn't bring out a caution. It should be able to,
Well, he was stopped in the middle of pit road.
It's not on the. They should be able. They could be able to get the car off without.
Yeah, but pit road's live.
I guess.
I guess you could close pit road, but maybe NASCAR wanted the caution. And then Jones and Herbst make contact, collecting up Cole Custer. Cole Custer, man.
Cold custard.
He's struggling. Because,
was he good?
Riley Herbst was, terrible. And now he seems to be like the next Daniel Hemrick, where he's going to get these great runs, not win, and then end up winning at Phoenix.
Cole Custer, before... excuse me. Before he came to, the Cup, because, he went down from the Cup.
Yeah, he was, really good in Xfinity. Even last year he was decent in Xfinity.
Okay.
When he ran the select races. Mm-hmm. And then he went in, and then, he didn't perform well in Cup, which I don't think was him. I think it was Stuart Haas.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Preece ain't doing much better either.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that was a lateral movement to go from Custer to Preece. Sorry.
Good?
Yeah. To get a coughing fit.
Damn mask on.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So he goes back. He goes back down. He's still in the Ford, right?
Yeah. He's still Stuart Haas.
Well, that's his problem.
Yeah.
There's your problem.
Because I figured, they're 8 races in. You figure they have a win. He'd have a win by now. You know. Because he's shown speed there in the past. But. And you have Noah and Ty Gibbs that aren't racing there anymore.
Right.
Those are the two biggest names, and now you see Austin Hill and Chandler Smith really rising to the top now.
Yeah.
So Chandler Smith is able to hold off John Hunter Nemechek and Josh Berry for his first Xfinity Series win, and then the next race for the Xfinity Series is Martinsville. They're not racing next week. They're racing Martinsville on the 15th.
Okay.
That's kind of a synopsis of the Xfinity race. And then we could take it to the truck race. The trucks were in Texas this weekend in support of the INDYCAR series.
I think that's cool that they were...
Yeah, I think that's cool. Because, in the past, Richmond's not a great race, so what if they miss it, neither is Texas, really, but I guess for the trucks, it's a little better than a Cup Series race.
Right. It really wasn't that much better, was it?
No. Again, same old boring Texas. Nick Sanchez dominated. He dominated the race.
Yeah.
He dominated. He was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. He won the first 2 stages.
What was it? He got caught up in a wreck?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Dean Thompson had a bad. Did you see that wreck with Dean Thompson? So he wrecked in the front stretch. He's spinning, gets hit, and then gets hit again.
Oh.
He was able to get out of the car. Get out of the truck on his own.
Okay.
But he had to get taken to the hospital. He, skipped the infield care center right to the hospital.
Wow.
But apparently he's in stable condition and he's doing okay.
Okay.
And then you have Carson Hocevar. Wins his first race in a bit of a bad look. He kind of dumped the leaders.
I kind of remember that. He,
he really gave him a shove. It wasn't a square shove, and it just sent him into the other guy, and he wins.
Yeah.
It's a bad look, but I mean,
it's racing.
It's racing. It's. I mean, you want to talk about
at a short track. It's warranted.
Yeah.
But at Texas.
Yeah. I mean, he said he meant to give him a shove, and he didn't want to spin it out. He just wanted to give him a shove to get past the leader. But I mean,
at the speeds you're doing Texas isn't that big.
No.
So like you're not gonna have that great of a grip.
And you want to talk about respect? There's literally no respect in the Truck Series.
No.
And this respect problem's only going to get worse because these drivers are going to end up in the Cup Series one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether in good teams or not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was listening a little bit to Stacking Pennies with Kevin Harvick on it.
Okay.
Because after I did the podcast, you know, there's just stuff playing on YouTube and that popped up, and he was saying because he decided to send Keelan over to Europe to race because he's kind of like dominating everything over here, but his mentality was he doesn't want to give him the best equipment.
Okay.
Because he says he thinks the problem with racing now is that you have all these kids with daddy's money. You know, they get the best equipment, they lead all the time, they don't know how to race.
Yeah.
They could drive a car.
Yeah.
They don't know how to race.
You see this with both his son and Bush's son.
I feel like they're total opposites. I feel like Brexton gets, you know, the best equipment, and Keelan, you know, not so much.
Okay. You don't think Harvick's putting his son in good stuff?
He's putting him in okay stuff, but not, you know, the best that he could buy.
Okay.
And he said he's not doing that because he wants him to learn how to race through a field.
Okay.
And there was one situation where they're racing bandoleros, or it was a go-kart or something like that, and he qualified terrible, and Kevin's like, what the hell was that? He goes, oh, it's qualifying, it doesn't matter. So he goes to the race official, goes, hey, can you DQ Keelan's time and put him to the back?
Really?
And then he goes to start, and he goes, Dad, why am I starting in the back? He goes, oh, it's still a qualifying, it doesn't matter, right? Show me it doesn't matter. And I was like, wow, okay, I actually respect Kevin for that.
That's hilarious.
Because
That's
he's saying that these kids, you know, like, not that they're given everything, but they're given these great cars and they don't race. They lead, and then when they get to the Cup Series, when they get to, you know, the pinnacle of racing in North America, they don't know how to race.
Yeah.
Because they're used to leading.
That is.
They don't know how to race through traffic.
I mean, that's good.
That's, you know, so I commend Harvick for that, you know?
That's funny. That's a great story.
Yeah. And he says he wants to bring him to Europe to make his, you know, racing diverse, you know? Because he's going to get experiences there he's not going to get here. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just racing a different kind of race.
He's going to do more road coursing, more go-karts.
I mean, he's still doing all the stuff here, but, you know, he's sending him over there to do... Because he's 10.
Yeah.
But, you know, he wants to diversify his racing portfolio.
I mean, that's good.
Essentially.
That's cool.
Which I think is great.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think that's better than him just putting him in the best equipment he can here.
Yeah.
Rather than taking that money and, you know, giving him a diverse palette of racing, you know?
That's great. That's great for Keelan.
Yeah.
That's a great
I gotta
opportunity.
commend him for that, you know? Because, I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They just want to be the best that they can in the equipment that they're in.
I mean, we're seeing that really with Brexton. I mean, we grew up at the time where Austin was probably put through.
Yeah, Austin was put in the best equipment, you know? I mean... You had, you know, his grandfather just, you know, putting him in the best cars that he could. And I think that's kind of who he was taking a hit on. Because, like, they just don't know how to race when they get into these series where you have to race through.
I mean,
you're not going to get the best.
Ty has got nowhere.
No.
Ty's got nowhere. Austin's, like, okay.
Yeah, and, like, I kind of opened my eyes, like, wow, like, that's true.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, now, like, it doesn't matter. Like, look at Harrison Burton. Do you think he really deserves to be in that 21? Do you think they did better putting him in that car over Matt DiBenedetto?
No. That car has struggled for a while because it's always been an extra car.
It's the same, if not worse, than with Matt in the car, you know?
Yeah.
But they put him in there because, you know, money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, John Hunter's doing okay.
See, I respect him because he made it his way up to Cup too fast. And then he went back into trucks. Mm-hmm. Granted, he's racing Kyle Busch trucks. I mean, that's, you know, those are... But now he's a Toyota driver. He's with Gibbs now.
But he's been hanging out there. I think he's going to be the next... If he goes back up into Xfinity, I think that's where he'll...
Well, he's racing in Xfinity now.
Is he now? Okay.
Because the TRD drivers He had to go up. He couldn't, keep racing in trucks. So he stayed with TRD. He stayed with Toyota.
Okay.
So now he's in the 20. I want to say. I think he's racing the 20 in Xfinity, and I think I admire that because he went up to the Cup Series way too fast.
Yeah.
And he was also with Front Row, which isn't
never going to do good there.
A good team.
Other than Martin Truex, that one time.
Front Row.
Oh, that was Furniture Row.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Front Row's never good, right?
I mean, they have a 500 one, but McDowell's good at road courses and he's good at super speedways.
That's it.
Yeah.
Although he had a good finish this week.
Oh yeah, he was up there again. I think that, like you were saying, because we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely gonna I really don't see anyone up and coming that's like, wow, that guy's gonna be the next Jeff Gordon. He's gonna be the next Jimmy Johnson. I don't see that, and I think what Kevin Harvick is saying is true. Like these kids are just given everything. They don't have to.
I mean,
they don't have to work for it.
We could talk about someone like that. Junior.
He wasn't given everything.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. I mean, he was a mechanic. He wanted to be a mechanic originally, and he was a mechanic at his dad's shop, at his dad's dealer.
And
then
he
didn't start racing until he was 16.
No, you see all the videos and the movies and this and that. He said his father was hard on him
because he didn't want him to be someone that was given. I mean, his dad could have gave him everything and not felt his wallet, change any, but he wanted him to do it the right way.
He just never. I mean, he was good.
He's Dale Earnhardt's son. I mean, how the hell do you live up to that?
Get one championship.
Again, if NASCAR was fixed, where's the championship?
I know. But if he's good, if he's if he's the great one's son.
Look at Kyle Petty.
Kyle Petty.
What the fuck Kyle Petty got to do with this now? I mean, look at Kyle Petty.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think where Junior's strength is, I wholeheartedly believe that Junior does belong in the Hall of Fame. Not because of his racing.
What he's done for the sport.
What he's done for the sport off the track as an owner and as almost like a historian for NASCAR.
It's interesting, there's waves of
I think I told you this, but
you probably have, because you had Junior and Kyle, and they sucked. There's a couple others.
I would say Junior was better than Kyle Petty, but
yeah. They never, they had some of their wins, but no championships. Nothing crazy. But then after that, I mean, Kyle's son was supposed to be good. I think Ricky Hendrick, who
he looked to be promising, but who knows? He could have been another, given everything and.
Mm-hmm. But I think you did mention there was waves of his family.
So the Earnhardt racing starts with Ralph Earnhardt, Dale's father. He was good. Dale was great.
Yeah.
Junior was okay.
Mm-hmm.
You had Lee Petty. He was good. Petty was great, as pains me to say. Kyle was okay.
Yeah.
You have Ryan Blaney. You have actually I don't know if I could say that, but you have Dave Blaney. He was alright.
He was okay.
But I think Ryan's a better racer than Dave, at least in NASCAR. He has a better ride, but I mean
he's not having a good season though.
It's still early.
Yeah.
And the Fords are struggling. I mean,
there's a excuse me. There's a comment.
In shit posting, yeah. It's I don't want to be around Blaney for it anymore.
I don't want to be a Ryan Blaney fan anymore. We got some new drivers. Yeah, there's this new dude. He's coming up. He's not got any race runs yet, but he's gonna be. His name's Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good shit.
Yeah, because there was him. I said, and I think even with Davey Allison. Davey Allison was supposed to be great. Unfortunately, he was taken too soon.
Yeah.
But it seems like the offspring of good talent is amazing, and then their offspring isn't.
I feel like it's because they're I don't know if there's too much expectation.
I think that's what it is.
Or they're given too much when they start.
I think that's a lot that has to do with it because with Lee Petty and Richard Petty, Lee Petty paved the way.
Yeah.
And then Richard was able to, capitalize on that. He paved the way with a dirt road. Mm-hmm. And then Richard Petty laid out a paved road.
Right.
And then when the road ended, Kyle couldn't keep going, you know what I mean? Where I feel like that was similar, like with Ralph and Dale Sr., where like Ralph laid that dirt road, and then he was able to make it a paved road. And then when Dale Jr. got to it, it was kind of obviously it was cut short. I mean, who knows what would have happened if Dale didn't die? I mean, there's so much safety innovation that wouldn't have happened because like you had Adam Petty that died, you had Neil Bonner that died, and someone else that I can't think of off the top of my head. Right before Dale died. Like, they're like, each year someone died. Like, in the last 3 years up to his death. And then when Dale died, that was kind of like the final straw. NASCAR was like, all right, we lost the hero. Like, we lost our fucking, golden ticket. We have to do something to change the safety of these cars. And I don't think that would have changed if he didn't die. You know what I mean? I mean, if it wasn't him, it would have been someone else.
Yeah. It would have happened. They were already looking into a lot of these safety innovations.
But he definitely...
His death
pushed it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, there hasn't been one since him.
No.
In any of the top 3 series.
No. I mean, even at that point, his son, Dale Jr., was already, racing with a closed face, a full helmet. Like... The innovations were there.
Because 2004 was a great season for Dale Earnhardt. I mean, hell, if Dale was there, I mean, maybe he could have, pushed him in the right direction. And Dale, he even said, like, when he was racing for DEI, he didn't take it seriously.
No.
Oh, it's like my dad's company. It is what it is. I'm just gonna show up. I'm gonna show up to practice. I'm gonna show up to qualifying. I'm gonna show up to race, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna care about. And then when he went to Hedrick Motorsports, it was a cultural change for him. Of how, they looked at racing. And he's like, wow, I've been doing that wrong my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, if I could go back in time, there's so much more he would change. He would take it more seriously.
I would assume, yeah.
But he was also a kid then, too, I mean...
He was a kid, going off of daddy's money.
Yeah.
He would have been so much better.
He would have been, yeah.
But he wrote off his dad.
But but like I said before, he still deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Not all of his driving achievements. I mean, still two Daytona 500s and being as dominant as he was at Super Speedways.
He was good.
That's great alone.
He was.
But I don't think that's Hall of Fame worthy. What's Hall of Fame worthy is his career after racing, being a team owner, and along with him being in there, I think Kelly needs to be in there as well.
Who?
For Kelly Earnhardt. His sister, that also runs Junior Motorsports, she needs to be in there at some point as well, as an owner. Because, I mean, think about the drivers that have gone through the gates of Junior Motorsports. Martin Truex Jr., champion. Brad Keselowski, champion. William Byron, he's going to make it up there. Chase Elliott, he's a
champion.
A champion. It seems like, when they find that talent, it's
real talent.
It's real talent. And he just... Did I say Brad?
Yes.
I mean, he just has that eye for talent. That seems like other people don't have.
Yeah. For sure.
Where were we? We were talking about Xfinity, right? And then we're going into... Oh, no, we were talking about trucks, the lack of respect, and then we went into Kevin Harvick and that. So, I guess the next race would be a little segue from NASCAR. Gonna go hop over to our international friends over at INDYCAR.
Are they international?
Well, there's a lot more flags than just the American flag.
Right, as a drivers, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's based out of Indianapolis, but, it's still...
our open wheel friends.
Yeah. So they raced at Texas on Sunday. It was their second race of the season, first oval for them. The first 2/3 of the race was pretty uneventful. They got pretty strung out.
The start of it was great.
Oh, the start was great, yeah. But then it got...
There was 4 lead changes in the first 10 laps.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Coming out strong. Anytime they were on fresh tires, it's great.
Oh, yeah. The former... So it was pretty uneventful until former 2-time Indy 500 winner, Takuma Sato, he wrecks out. Coming out, it seemed like coming out of 2 was pretty treacherous.
Well, I think
like
2
they
is
got loose
even
there.
for NASCAR. It's flatter, and it just drops. And even for NASCAR, the same thing happens. I've noticed. I know that. But for IndyCar, that's doing 220 out of there. As soon as you go down, you lose all that downforce, all that, even all the mechanical grip, and the car just goes around.
I mean, even though it was uneventful, it was still good racing. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like hard charging racing, but it was still entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I had fun watching. I was like, these guys are crazy.
And like I even have here, the restarts were pretty cool until they got strung out.
Mm-hmm.
But Pato O'Ward pretty much put on a clinic at Texas Motor Speedway. He lapped up. I mean, granted, part of this was
he wasn't in the front at the start.
No. But when he found his way up there, he stayed up there for the majority of it.
He did.
And he lapped all the way up to third place.
Yeah, there was only at the time when this caution came out, there was only 2 cars on the lead lap. I would say, you were like, oh, he's putting on a clinic. Like half of those cars that were a lap down, it was because of pits.
But like 10th place was 2 laps down.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and that's impressive.
There's still half a field that is just lapped from being lapped. It was wild. It was a long run, and to see that was crazy. To see him put on, such a strong, putting on a strong race. Then there was another spin, and then
there was Rick Ware driver. I'm Rick Ware NASCAR. You're Rick Ware INDYCAR, spoiling the race.
Yeah.
Stingray Rob. Stingray Rob wrecks coming out of 2, and brings out the caution. That's the one that really changes the strategy for everyone.
Yeah, all those cars that got lapped pitting, they all got back on the lead lap.
Yeah. And like Larry McArdle says, cautions breed cautions, and then it became like a crazy 4-way battle, like that because like they didn't know if they had enough fuel, so like they're all holding back, and you had a 4-way battle, like you had no idea who the hell was going to win, and Romain Grosjean, who had a great run on Sunday, loses it coming off of 2. With 2 to go, brings out the race and the caution, and Joseph Newgarden, right before that, like right when they're going into turn 1, Newgarden makes the pass for the lead, just like he did last year, where he makes the last pass.
He was leading for a lot of the race.
He was.
So he was always up. He was always running strong. But yes, he last year he made a lot, like passed at the end to win last year, and got back into the front before this last caution. Yeah.
Now, the race ended under caution. I mean, the race was so great, I didn't really care.
It was 1 lap. They took the white flag.
Yeah.
Like, the caution came out.
And it was 2 laps to go.
Right. The caution came out, and then they took the white flag. So the white flag, 1 lap was really the only lap under full caution.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but like, I feel like in that case it worked, because I mean, if they did it like in overtime, they'd probably just wreck. Because then they're going to be all happy, trying to pass everyone and wreck. But I feel like with NASCAR, you can't have that, because like NASCAR fans are toxic as hell.
As soon as the caution gets called, it's because this person's in the lead.
Yeah.
And that's why we have our overtimes. It's like, all right, well, give them a chance. Mm-hmm. And then, NASCAR had the 2 overtime rule. Well, it's because they wanted this person to get into lead. All right, we'll have it unlimited. And
then you have COTA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the fix to that is you have 1 attempt at an overtime finish with double file restart.
As a regular overtime.
Yeah, just regular overtime. You get 1 attempt at a double file restart. Mm-hmm. If you miss that, if they mess that up, you go single file till it's over.
You guys can't race, you're going to line up single file.
Exactly. And then the next race for INDYCAR, they're at the Long Beach Grand Prix. 2 weeks.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, the 16th they'll be there. That's going to be pretty fun.
Long Beach is always popular. It's always the popular race for them.
And California. Again, I'm excited to go to Indy this year. I can't wait. I got a lot on my plate this year.
Yeah.
Got 2 weddings, 3 races so far.
Until we buy the tickets and everything for that, it's not going to settle in, because we're still like on the fence about it.
Which one?
Indy. Oh, you're going.
I'm going to Indy. Yeah, I'm going to Indy. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm going one way or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that wraps up the IndyCar talk, and we can segue back to Richmond on the East Coast.
NASCAR.
And we can get to the Cup Series. That's what you guys really want to hear. So, again, practice and qualifying was rained out. Byron and Larson, and even Bowman, they kind of dominate early. Like those 300 cars were on like a different setup.
Remember,
And
even
Byron, like Larson couldn't pass Byron.
I admitted to sleeping. In
Yeah,
the first stage.
I know. You didn't really miss much, but early on in that race, Mr. We Need More Respect Around Here just drives right through J.J. Haley.
I did
lap
see
32.
that. I did see that replay.
I'm going to say it right now, right here, so everyone can hear it. Denny Hamlin is a fucking hypocrite.
Mm-hmm. You've saad that.
Oh, I know, but he's a fucking hypocrite. He, just like he preaches about fucking safety, and then he dumps guys.
Yeah.
Oh, these cars are dangerous, they're killing us. Even though it hasn't fucking killed anyone. I mean, concussions have always been an issue in NASCAR.
But
always.
now,
that's what ended Dale's career.
I know. But we haven't had any issues this year.
No. You know? But he decides to drive right through J.J. Haley and dump him, and J.J. pretty much said, you got one on you. You know? Like, expect something.
There was no reason.
No.
No reason.
When the playoffs come around, what does he have to lose?
Yeah.
He's got nothing to lose in the playoffs, you know what I mean? He's lucky if he even finishes a race, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do they do? Park him? Oh, big fucking deal.
Okay.
You know, that saves him time, you know?
Yeah.
He plays these games, and then he loses them.
Yeah.
And he's going to lose to fucking J.J. Haley. It's going to be hilarious, you know? This is why he's not a champion. His head is always in the wrong fucking spot. You know? I mean, that's easy for us to say because, you know, we're not NASCAR drivers, but I mean, like...
I mean, you were saying this before, but we started recording, you know, situation, if it was the end of the race, he's leading, and J.J. Haley's, like, 2 or 3 laps down and holding Denny up. Like, he needs to get, you know, JJ needs to get out of the way, you know, and Denny moves him. Okay, yeah, that's warranted. At the beginning of the race, and you're not in first, and you're just going, and you're just gonna run him over.
Yeah.
Not even move him, just run him over. Unnecessary, unneeded.
Completely unnecessary.
You're wrecking a car that doesn't need to be wrecked.
No, he could do it himself.
Yeah, he can.
He doesn't need help with that, especially... What that was a Rick Ware car, right? The 15, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah.
JJ's in there.
Yeah, so, I mean, you don't need to help a Rick Ware car bring out a caution. They'll do it themselves.
Yeah.
As they showed this weekend. You have Byron winning stage 1. And then late in stage 2, I kind of got scared because I had Byron for my pool. I started getting scared because the Toyota started coming up to the front. And I'm like, oh no, like... And they came up there not only on speed, but on strategy as well. And I'm like, I think we just lost this race to Toyota.
Well, you know, I want to talk a little bit how you say strategy.
Yes.
This race had a different stage setup than any other race I've ever seen. I don't know if they ever said they were doing this or why, but it's always been like the first 2 stages are about the same amount of laps.
Yeah, it's like a quarter and a half. That's right. Usually what it's
about.
Yeah.
The halfway is a little before the end of the second stage is how it is.
Yeah.
But this Richmond race, for some reason, the first stage was short, you know, regular, and then the 2 second stages were split.
Yeah.
Evenly. And that actually brought in a lot of fuel and tire for the both stages.
Yes.
Either, you know, strategy. Are you going to go out the whole stage? Or, you know, sacrifice. You know, it was always sacrificing maybe the first stage.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the 2 first stages being short. But this one actually played in even to the end of the race, having much different strategies, bringing cars to the front and to the back. And I hope I see this more in NASCAR.
Yeah. I mean, play with the stages. I kind of like put the stages.
Keep the stages. Keep them.
They know. Because like at certain tracks, like road courses, get rid of the brakes, 100%. Like I don't know where you would draw the line. Because like I think it would be interesting to see a super speedway race just play out.
Again.
Naturally, just see it just play out.
Single file train.
And if that's what happens, then go back to the stage racing. But I mean, part of me really wants to find out what racing would look like with this car. Just natural racing, you know what I mean? But if they could put the stage brakes where it messes up strategy,
yeah,
that's where they need to put them.
Break up the race, but have let there still be strategy.
Yeah, like don't make the pit crew be the deciding factor. Make the crew chief the crew chief, the race car driver, and the pit crew have to be all performing. You know, like
let there be green flag stops.
Yes.
Let there be a chance for green flag stops, and let the crew chief play out when they need to pit or stay out. Let there be pit strategy, but definitely, don't let there be a phantom caution.
No,
we don't need it.
We don't need that.
We need the stage breaks are good for NASCAR, but they do need to be fixed.
And again, going back on the overtime, what if a phantom caution ends the race?
Well,
for debris, like you have a debris caution, and then ends the race.
We haven't had that, have we?
What ended the 98 500? Was that debris caution, or was that the cars that wrecked?
I'm talking about recently. Have we had a phantom?
Well, no, because I mean that's gonna fuck everything up. But anyway, so that was stage 1 and stage 2.
There were
and then I have here Toyota shows strength towards the end of 2 and the beginning of 3, and then on one of the last few restarts, Bell has a case of RDS. Do you know what RDS is?
Enlighten me.
It's Ross derangement syndrome, where he saw Ross by him. He gave him a ton of room.
He probably heard in his from his spotter, one low.
Yeah.
One diving low.
Yeah. So Bell gives him a ton of room.
Like at least a car length.
At least a car length.
Yeah.
And then just pinches Byron, and Byron goes around, and I was so pissed.
I mean, Byron also came down.
Byron came down, but I mean, there was enough room for Bell to go down.
Yeah.
And then people are defending Bell. Oh, well, he has a dirt background, and in dirt racing, you have to give space. Well, he's been in NASCAR for how long? I mean, you can't keep doing that. I mean, that's not how it works here.
I mean, you do have to give space to the guy. Ross went low. You got to give him space.
And then to fast forward a little bit, he gets out of the car, and he's being like, oh, the guy just bonsaiing down in the corner, and the wrecking ball, Ross Chastain. And then eventually, he looked at a replay. He apologized to William.
He didn't apologize.
He didn't apologize to Ross.
I mean, if it was Coda and they were, wrecking balling, yeah. But Ross was left him. Ross was low and did not come up.
No,
there was plenty of room.
I just feel like it's just the thing now to blame Ross. I mean, and I give credit to Harvick. He didn't blame Ross at Atlanta. When everyone else did.
Yeah.
And then eventually they looked at the replay and it was like, okay, no, he was just there. He didn't touch him.
It's just Ross.
It's racing. Yeah.
Blame Ross.
But, Ross isn't my guy. I don't hate him. I mean, if I had to pick a side between him and Denny Hamlin, obviously I'm going to pick Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's just weird. He just finds himself in these weird situations where,
he's a strong racer.
Yeah. Because I think it was even on the podcast that Denny added himself. He even kind of because apparently Ross took Denny out for breakfast after Gateway.
Okay.
And they talked.
Okay.
And he explained how he grew up and stuff, and how he grew up on the farm and he kind of just had to fend for himself, and that's kind of racing racing he just had to take
for himself.
He had to take everything he could because he was paying himself, and it's just weird because Ross just always ends up in these weird positions, whether he's doing it or not. It's just weird because he just always ends up in the spotlight, Yeah,
he is. He really is.
And that sucked because Byron had a great day going, and I probably would have gained a lot of points, but he finished 24th, and
you had Byron.
That's right.
You had Byron for your.
For the funds pool.
Funds.
But, I mean, he did get the pole, he had the most laps led, and he did win stage 1. So, I mean, I had 3 extra points. So, that's good for me, but it still sucked to watch because...
Where did Busch finish, my driver? He finished outside the top 15.
He finished, I want to say it was 17th. He finished 14th.
That's right. When on the last restart, he was like 20th, and he drove his way up.
What didn't happen this weekend? What didn't happen all 2020 when Busch struggled? Practice.
Practice, yeah.
Yeah, what didn't happen this weekend?
Practice. Busch struggles with practice. I picked him because he's
without
good.
Practice. He struggles without practice.
Struggles without practice.
But I mean, I still think 14th is not bad.
No.
I mean, it's not a top 10. No, it doesn't help you. But I mean, you could have had a lot worse. I mean, you could have picked,
Excuse me.
You could have picked Noah Gragson. You finished last.
I didn't expect him to do good.
Wow. Look, all these cars are running at the end.
Only one car out.
Yeah. I'm surprised JJ finished the race. He was like 17 laps down, but
wait, go back down. Ricky Stenhouse lost to Cody Ware. Ricky Stenhouse sucks. Was he involved in something, or is it just...
I don't know.
Is he just that bad?
Wow, Eric finished 13th.
Yeah, for once.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people like Kyle Larson got into the lead. Like, what's Eric gonna do?
Yeah, what's Eric gonna do now?
All Kyle Larson fans holding their breath. What's Eric doing?
Yeah, right. Eric somehow puts out the race-ending caution and gives it to Josh Berry. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, so even with strategy played a big part because Josh Berry, I think, was playing the Toyota game, was staying out late.
Yeah.
And then he got lucky, a caution came out, they all came and pitted, and he ended up finishing second.
Yeah. Best finish for him in the Cup.
Oh, yeah. He
was running good all...
He was. I mean, and because of the points, he had to start in the back.
Yeah.
So, he had to race his way up. Ryan Blaney dumped him, too. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I remember. That was in the beginning.
Yeah.
I did see that, and I messaged our group chat. I was like, uh-oh.
But I feel like that was more of an incident than,
No, yeah.
Then he drove through JJ.
Yeah.
He was probably frustrated because he couldn't pass him and just
I think when I saw that, I was like half asleep, and I still thought it was like Chase's car. So I was like,
yeah.
Oh, best friends, Rob Blaney dumped Chase. Like, oh. when I sent that message, I was like half asleep, and I noticed it.
Let's see. We gotta look up. You can keep talking about the race.
What are you looking up now?
DARF.
Oh, we didn't look at up at all.
I sent you some.
You sent me some. Did I send you any?
I don't know. But so, anyway.
Well, you looked that up.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Pretty much at the end. We're pretty much right over here. Right over here.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Barry came in second. Best finish for him. First win for Larson in what was I saying? Number 294 for Hendrick Motorsports. We're not going to see them win 300 at Dover, unfortunately.
No, but I think Pocono's too late. To be honest.
Yes, I mean, they could hold out for us.
There's that one.
Yeah, what the fuck is he talking about with that?
I mean, you want to just do these two?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
But, we're not going to get to the next race yet, right? Yeah.
Huh? You good, Alex?
Yeah. I said we're not going to get into the next race yet.
Oh, no. We got DARF comment of the week. Right. We got to break it up a little bit. I think I had one more. Let me see if it's here.
I'm sorry, I didn't look up.
Oh, yes. We're doing these three. Him. We have to.
Which...
Yeah, we have to. All right. So, Kyle Larson finally wins. Whoop, whoop! He gets his first W of the year. You know what he said that he did last week? He said after last week, he went on YouTube and he was looking at his 2001 season to to remind himself that he used to be good.
Did he look...
I mean, I guess it worked.
Did he go to 2020?
I hope not. Can you hear me? Hey. No. Anyway, so Kyle Larson finally gets the win, and good day for Hendrick Motorsports, except for William Byron. I mean, he would have had a great finish if it wasn't for Bell.
Where did Bowman finish?
Bowman finished, I believe, because I picked Bowman for Jill because she didn't pick, but Bowman finished 8th.
Oh, nice. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
that would have been a top 10 day for Hendrick.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay. So, it is DARF comment of the week.
Yes,
we got
it
a
is.
couple of posts.
We have DARF comments of the week.
Got a couple posts here.
So we have the you want to save this one for last?
I didn't see that one, and
I thought I sent it to you, but excuse me.
Nice.
So the first one, this gentleman says, "I know what is wrong with NASCAR, and no one will listen. When I was young, they made plastic model cars I built, which all looked different, but could compete well together. I guess that stock car kinship is gone forever."
What the fuck does plastic cars have to do with anything?
Yeah, what do model cars have to do with? I mean, I think if I could go back to my younger years and go into my old DARF self, I think what he's trying to say is that the cars were different. Like, the Ford looked like the Thunderbird, like it had Thunderbird body lines all the way around. The Monte Carlo had Monte Carlo body lines all the way around. Yeah. I think that's what he's getting at.
Okay,
but he's completely missing they weren't plastic; they were sheet metal.
Yeah.
What are the models? I could buy a plastic model of a next-gen car and build it.
Yeah.
What is that going to fix?
Even then, those cars were... It wasn't like they were the street cars.
No, they still were. They were purpose-built race cars.
Yeah.
Like...
And they had to follow NASCAR rules.
Yeah. This one's pretty interesting.
NASCAR!
Even though I don't like Denny Hamlin, I still think this one makes me chuckle. Because no one should be parked for good. No. I mean, maybe Denny Hamlin should be, but... NASCAR! I said before, and I'll say it again! You need to park Hamlin for good before he really hurt someone. All he is doing is purposely wrecking anyone. Couple of weeks ago was Chastain, and 2 weeks it was Kyle Larson, and this week it was J.J. Yeley. Plus, I think the sponsors should start stepping in and leaving Denny Hamlin for his actions on the racetrack. So, NASCAR, park him for good! I mean, I think FedEx is already doing that. Because FedEx has been on the car twice this year. And FedEx has been his primary sponsor. Yeah. Like, usually it's like FedEx for like 34 races, and then the other 2 is Sports Clips.
Right.
Like, very rarely are they on a car this little.
I like how all he is doing is purposely wrecking anyone.
Yeah, anyone.
Even you.
Even you.
All he's doing.
Yeah.
All he's doing.
Well, I mean, he's not winning, so.
But it's a couple weeks ago. Got to go back a while for Chastain, and 2 weeks for Kyle Larson.
Isn't 2 a couple?
Yeah. Yeah, but like all he's doing is wrecking people. But
we're 8 races in, and there's 3 examples.
Yeah. Where's all these doing?
Yeah. I know.
I mean, again, we're not really fans of Denny here, but like, my guy.
So this last one, if you frequent NASCAR shitposting or NASCAR internet as a whole, there's someone that used to post a lot. About Haley Deegan, and
I haven't seen him in a while.
No, this is the first post that I've seen in a while because he was like kind of like the main
before Mr. Pedophile.
Oh yeah, so oh my god, yeah. So, this guy says, and for the people who don't like Haley, she got a 6th at Texas, which was actually a 5th, but still.
What makes that actually?
She's got talent. She's about to show y'all. Come Bristol Dirt. She's the Dirt Princess after all.
I didn't realize who that was by.
Yeah. Again, we don't want to disclose names because I don't ask anyone. I just take it. But, I don't know if we get over that. I don't know. I mean, it's just a comment. I mean, it's Facebook. It's out there.
What makes her sick? I mean, good for Haley.
She has a win on dirt in ARCA. I think that's what it is. And but because of her dad's a motocross or her brother does motocross.
No, her father
he did
does
trucks,
too.
right?
Her father's a motocross.
No, like the super trucks.
No, motocross.
Motocross?
Actually, he just shared a video. You're gonna have to look this up to show everybody, but he showed a video he was working on a bike with some guy, and they were talking about like how tight you want to make the chain. You don't want it to be too loose.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be too tight. And so Brian Deegan, Haley's father, like the one guy dude's working on it, and he's like, yeah, you want to check the tightness, and then Brian Deegan puts his hand like under the chain like to feel it, and then the dude takes the back tire, wham, and his hand just gets stuck, and he starts screaming and he cuts it.
Oh my god!
Brian shared this. When I saw, I was like, oh my god!
Ouch! I've done that before by accident.
No, yeah, because it's the two of them. So the one dude's like explaining it, and then Brian just goes, and then what? Yeah.
Man.
I was like, you fucking idiot. But like, it wasn't his fault, but like just sticking his hand and like touching the chain.
Hey, general rule in the shop: never put your hand where you would never put your dick.
Yeah, for sure.
So that kind of wraps up Dark Comment of the Week. Remember to tweet us. We have our own Twitter now. Tweet us at Armchairs Racers Podcast, and we'll see your dumb tweets, and we will reply to them. Maybe. It has to be dumb enough.
Yeah.
But not like purposely dumb enough.
We'll share them if
Yeah.
you share a good DARF comment.
But I guess that brings us into next week. And next week we have Bristol Dirt Track.
What year is this? Ford now?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. We went to the second one?
We did.
Okay.
We went to the first night one.
Yes.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Ford won the first one. Toyota won the second one.
So we're due for a Chevy win.
Is Chevy gonna win? Is Kyle Busch gonna hack his way into another one?
Fucking hope so. Okay. Does Kyle Larson continue with his momentum?
I hope so.
Did he do good in the last two?
He did great early on, and then he just like faded off at the end. But there was a lot of the rain delays.
Yeah. Last year had the bit of the rain delays, which was the only issue with that race.
Yes.
Otherwise, like the whole weekend was some of the best racing.
I'm really sad that we're not going.
I know, but like we got so much going on.
There's no way that we could do this, the wedding, and then Dover. There's no way.
Just financially and the year, it's especially for me now.
Yeah. No. I mean, I get it. I mean, like, I'm just really upset that we're not going.
I know. It's
and for everyone that hates the Bristol Dirt Race,
I think it's one of the best races of the year.
Yeah, I mean, especially to go to that. I mean, that was my first time. I still want to go to. I still want to see.
You still
the
have to go
Bristol,
to Bristol, yeah.
But like, the environment was like that was
Bristol
one of
is a great place.
Aside from Indy, just like that was like when I went to the 100th running of the Indy 500, it was just I was almost like a fucking DARF. Like I was like you could like just like feel the history of the track when you walked in. And it was just there was like we live in the outskirts of New York City. We live in the greater New York area. Yeah. I'd say I've never seen more people in one place in my life. There was like 800,000 people at Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And you know what like the bag check was? Like when we go to Dover or whatever, and they scan our bags, they go through it and stuff, and you get the metal detector.
Yeah.
You know what it was when I went there? They opened up the top, they looked in it, and they closed it.
No.
That was it.
Oh,
man. No metal detectors or anything. That was crazy.
That's insane.
Right?
That many people there?
And like at Indy, they encourage you to bring food and beer because they know they don't have enough.
Yeah. That's fine. That's good. I mean, that's good for them.
But like Bristol had to be... Because I mean, I've been to Daytona. I haven't been to the 500, but like... I mean, Daytona's a good time. I haven't like... The last time I went to Daytona for a weekend was 2009. I mean, NASCAR was a completely different sport back then. But, I mean, and that was right after the recession and this and that, or kind of during the recession. But, I mean, it's still...
But, like, we were kids at that time.
Yeah. I mean, but, like, as far as, like, an adult experience, Bristol has to be up near the top. Even though, like, even though the weekend really sucked. It rained. It rained.
The whole
time.
Like,
it still was, like...
We saw some of the best racing. That was our second time camping on our own.
That was our first time. Well, no, that was our second time.
Camping on our own. But our first big trip
Yeah.
First big trip.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've gone to some other races, but like for us, our first, going to, again, big trip for NASCAR. I've gone on the trips with my father. You've gone on the trips with your dad.
Yeah.
But that was a big one for us. Just me and you.
Yeah.
Driving
just
down.
Winging it.
Going. We're like, you're like, where do we go?
Yeah.
Like, you're like Bristol or Martinsville. I'm like, I want to go see the dirt race.
Yeah.
And we went.
I'm glad. I wanted to go to the Bristol, the Martinsville. I still have to go there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. I'm really glad we did the dirt race.
If they don't do it again after this, we got to see NASCAR on dirt. Mm-hmm. Like, NASCAR started with a lot of dirt racing, and they've come back to it, and people, all the DARFs are like, oh, go to a actual dirt race. But
I kind of agree with that.
They can, but like, you don't have the infrastructure for it.
I would be like, just give Bristol a third race, have 2 asphalt and then the dirt. I'd be happy with that.
I mean, the racing on it's fast. It's dirt, but it's fast. It's great.
Like, if there's any 2 tracks that should have another date, it's Charlotte for another oval race and Bristol for another asphalt race.
Yeah. Yeah, and but also like we look at the first Bristol dirt. It was during the day. It was dry.
Yeah.
The weekend we went, they did it at night.
Very wet.
What? It was very wet. But you want a wet dirt track. You want it wet. So even though there was a rain delays, they made the track good.
Yeah. I mean, I still think they need to remove the windshields.
There was still an issue
because
with that.
Because you have the issue with the mud, and then the wipers just aren't enough. You need to put screens.
I know some of the trucks they'll put.
They
blocker
put
in the front. Yeah. And I think it does help.
But then eventually that gets covered in mud, and then you can't see past that.
Yeah.
I still say that just if you're going to do a dirt race, do it right. Get rid of the windshield and put in a screen. There's nothing that's going to happen like these cars are going slower than sprint cars. They're going slower. Mm-hmm. These cars go slower than any other dirt car, because they're not purposely built dirt cars, They're going slower. If they can run with screens, NASCAR can run with screens. I mean, granted, it's going to mess up with the electronics, but I'm sure you could cover that up better, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another issue that they would have to work with.
But I'm sure there's a way that you could cover that up or waterproof it or whatever, Yeah.
The
dirt track, you're gonna get dirty. There's still dirt.
I'm
sure there's still dirt from Bristol in this hat.
Yeah. I think if I was to dig right now and go grab my earmuffs.
Yeah, there's probably still dirt there too. Yeah, it's. We also sat in the wrong spot. We sat in the entrance of Ford. On the exit of Ford.
Yeah.
So that's where all the dirt's flying up.
Yeah. But that was still a good spot.
Oh yeah.
We
saw everything.
It's Bristol. It's Bristol. Any spot's good. It's the Coliseum. So that great.
It was cheaper because it was a corner.
It was
part of the straightaway. Kind of like how Dover
we were also lower, but again, you could see anything anyway.
I mean, we could have moved up if we wanted to, but I mean, we had good seats. I mean, I didn't feel like we had to move. You know what I mean?
No.
Also, just Bristol overall is just a great venue. Everything they have to offer, the fan zone was amazing.
There's one of the areas, because there's technically 2 fan zones on the front and back stretch. The front stretch obviously has the bigger fan zone. But Toyota has their parking lot and fan zone in their lot. It's all Toyota's themed. You could kind of get to it without going into the track.
bought the shitty cooler at Bristol, right?
Yes.
I did. I think I spent the last one money on that.
Shit, he was in the Toyota spot.
Yeah, that's right. And then we met up in that Dover not too long after that.
Yeah, he was inside.
And then we met him.
He was inside in Pocono.
And then we met him at Pocono.
Yeah.
Remember us?
Yeah. And he doesn't now. Shitty Rob doesn't work for Shitty.
No.
He's just racetrack Rob.
Yeah.
Shout out, but Dover does have a lot of fan oriented stuff. And Bristol fan oriented stuff, and anywhere you sit, Dover anywhere you sit too, but Bristol anywhere you sit, and the dirt race is good, and there was a good amount of fans there. I made a comment. Someone made a comment like, "Oh, dirt race. Dirt race sucks. Oh, don't do it, but dirt. You're ruining Bristol. You used to be such a hot ticket for Bristol." And the spring race, they could barely sell out the front.
Yeah.
They could barely sell the front stretch. And
like, I remember the last spring race at Bristol. Because weather is always an option. I mean, weather is always a threat at Bristol in spring.
I mean, it's
but I remember the last race in 2019. No one was sitting in the corners.
No, they didn't sell the corners.
Yeah.
And even then, the back stretch is barely sold. The front stretch is barely sold.
But also, it holds 100,000 people.
Yeah.
You put 50,000 people there, it's gonna look empty.
Mm-hmm. But now, when we went last year, it was a good crowd.
Yeah, it wasn't sold out, but it was a good crowd.
We were sitting in the turns. They were selling the turns again.
Yeah.
And the straightaways were pretty full.
Yeah. And then I liked how they put that bar in the backstretch. Remember that huge bar they built?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that,
Mm-hmm. I mean, does it take away from stands? Sure. But
they don't need
the stands. But, yeah, it's just another fan, something for the fans to, experience. And,
yeah. I was listening to the teardown on my way home from work today, and Jeff Gluck said that because he doesn't like Bristol dirt, so he was like, imagine like your favorite Italian restaurant. You love everything there. It's your favorite Italian restaurant. Everything there you get is great, but for 1 week a year, it turns into a 7-Eleven. And I'm like, no. This is like the best Italian restaurant you could think of. But for one week a year, it's Mexican. And it's the same quality of food.
Yeah.
That's the way that I see it. You know what I mean?
It is, yes.
It becomes this big Mexican restaurant for a week. Mm-hmm. And then it goes back to, being Italian, Mm-hmm. That's the way that I see it. It's different.
It's different.
But it's still good.
It's good quality racing.
It is. I mean, the finish there was great.
We didn't get to see it.
No, we didn't get to see it. We heard it. But that was... I mean, we saw the replays and stuff.
Yeah.
But, even as shitty of a weekend that we had with rain,
mm-hmm.
we still want to go back. You know,
you want to go.
I'm missing it a lot.
I would, yeah.
I really want to go back to Bristol, even though that we got rained on. Downpoured on when we were leaving.
Oh, my God.
But, it was still...
If I was able to, I would.
And I tell you what, so going to Bristol was my first SMI track. Okay. Because someone called me about the whole the rain weather package and this and that with the not rain package but the rain weather guarantee with Dover. I was like, hey, do you work for SMI? Or no, I work for SMI. So I just want to say that I went to Bristol last year for the dirt race, and all the amenities and all the accommodations for the fans rethought my opinion on SMI. Mm-hmm. Because they gave everything to us. You know what I mean? I mean they had the trams, they had the buses, they had the vans.
They're such a big corporation.
Exactly.
They got the money.
And even when we went to Dover last year, we never parked that close.
No. We got lucky for that, I think.
But I still don't think that you could park there. Where we parked, I don't think that was general parking where it was where it was last year.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for us going to Bristol last year, I would not be camping at Dover.
No. Okay.
Because it was such an inconvenience. They only had the bus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they said that they're going to have all the, they're going to have the trams, they're going to have the shuttles, they're going to have this, and they're going to have that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I are fine. I have no problem camping away from the track, you know what I mean? Because after we went to Pocono, we're not camping outside of the track ever again. Right. But then we did Bristol, and then Pocono's also great in itself, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just...
That's another, you have to be there for the fan experience. You have to do the weekend.
Pocono, the racing isn't the best.
For the drivers, it is. It's a very technical track.
But to watch it, it's not...
It's hard.
It gets strung out, and it's... I don't want to watch it on TV. No. I don't. I'd rather be there.
It's good for NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's a challenging race for the drivers and for the teams. It's just not...
But it's so fun to be there.
Well, that's why I think they really made it to be there. You have to be there.
Because were you there at Dover that year when the neighbors next to us were like, oh yeah, we usually go to Pocono, but we went to Dover this year, and Pocono is so much more inclusive. I'm like, whatever, the racing sucks though, but whatever. Maybe that's when I went with Jack the first year.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe we should do Pocono. Mm-hmm. And then I know we wanted to do Pocono for the first doubleheader
until when it got postponed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think the second doubleheader. I mean, the second one was still good.
Well, the
I
second
still
one
don't know
was
why
with the fans.
I don't know why they stopped doing it. That was such a great idea.
They changed up the schedule. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll, a big thing we've touched on is, and you want to touch on an off week is double headers.
Yes.
In NASCAR, and lengthening the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
But not necessarily. Like the schedule's still gonna They told us
not calendar. Yeah. Wise, it's just more dates.
The season will still start. The President's Day weekend, and it still end the same time it ends now, but just have more racing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're already at the track. Just do it twice.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have practice. Mm-hmm. That's 2, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours of practice.
Yeah.
That's race time. No one's gonna go watch practice. People are gonna fucking watch a race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are gonna be more inclined to camp.
Right.
If I can see my guy race twice in a weekend, yeah, sure as shit, I'm gonna go camp there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'll definitely have camping sell out more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way that you still get the 2 races there. You're gonna make more money at that one race than you are gonna make at the 2 combined. And it's just a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you might get someone that can't make it on Sunday. That they'll go on a Saturday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or vice versa.
You'll get more people for the weekend as opposed to
just... And you're going to get more people you're going to have more asses in the seats for your Xfinity race and your Truck Series race than you would having them run alone.
Right. Yeah. It's... It just sounds logically better for doing a doubleheader, for the weekend.
Yeah. At certain tracks.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Bristol Dirt. So this is the 8th race of the year. Right? Is that 8th or 9th? No, yeah, it's the...
We're always one episode ahead, I think.
So this should be the... I am a little lost.
Unless you didn't update it.
I may not have updated it. So we have... I don't want the weekend schedule. No, I want to... I do, but I don't. There we go. So we are race number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so this is race number 8.
Yeah, our episode number is always one ahead because we had the first episode.
So it's the only dirt track in the Cup Series. I would like to see I would like to see more dirt. I would like to see them go to a real dirt track, but Bristol Dirt's fun. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I would like to see Bristol Dirt keep going. Yeah.
But I mean, if it came to the point where it's
if they wanted to add another dirt date, then yes, go to a dirt track.
Yeah. So who are you taking?
I haven't thought about my pick yet.
I'm taking Larson.
Oh, that was a good one. I hope that picks it up.
Huh?
You didn't hear that? I cracked my neck.
Oh.
You didn't hear it?
No. Oh, I did. I thought you were saying, I thought you were saying something about Larson.
I hope the mic picks up.
Oh, probably did. But
if it does, you gotta fucking crank it.
Yeah. So who are you thinking about for Bristol Dirt?
Who did we have at the end last year? It was Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick. Was it Briscoe? It was Reddick, Briscoe, and Busch.
I mean, Busch backed his way in. Yeah. Reddick did good 2 weeks ago. I think Reddick continues his momentum from 2 weeks ago.
Have you picked Reddick yet? I have it up here.
I have not.
I'm going to put it right here. Larson.
I want that red dick.
Putting in right now. Reddick. Okay.
Did good last year. He's got the momentum.
Momentum.
He's my pick for this year.
Okay, cool. I don't think it's a bad pick.
Well, I hope not.
I mean, where did Kyle finish last year? I don't think he finished too bad. Let's go back to the home of Racing Reference. Oh, it's racingreference.info. Interesting.
You got good info from it.
I do. So let's see. 22.
Logano won the first
race. Yeah, ew. Oh, Larson finished 4th.
Okay.
That's not bad. Yeah,
Reddick still finished second after getting into that spin.
Briscoe, where did he fall back to?
Briscoe was the one that
Briscoe
spun.
fell back to fucking 22nd, yeah. Briscoe spun. Tyler.
I mean, they both spun, but like, the Reddick just like did the loop and kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blaney had a good finish. Logano finished third, so like he's got 2 good finishes there.
I thought Noah raced. Oh, he did. He finished 27th. Yeah, he started 28th, finished 27th. Progress, baby.
If any of our Funt people listen, Logano is definitely a good pick.
Yes, Logano. Not you though, Bree. Bree, you can't pick Logano.
No, we're already.
Oh, she didn't. Wait, she didn't. Fuck.
We're already keeping Bree from picking Logano. She's not allowed.
Yeah, she can't pick Logano. She can't pick she can't pick race winners anymore.
But but Logano is a good pick. Right?
For anyone that is interested, just that I have it up here, Bree has been killing us. Her worst finish is 34th. She has, as the races go by, she has 37, 34, 34, 42, 38, 38, and 41.
Those are the points that she received.
Yeah.
So, like, the higher the points, the better. So, 34 points is not bad. That's still a good finish.
34 points is... 34 points without bonuses is a...
top 10?
Is a 7th place finish.
Yeah.
Still top 10.
Meanwhile, where am I?
Alex, you are 104 points behind her with 160 points. She has 264 points.
I'm in second to last again.
I think you are. I put it over at...
Two races ago, I was in dead last.
Yeah,
and
Dom has been doing the worst so far out of everyone.
Well, no, 2 races ago, I was dead last. I was the worst.
Josh was doing well. He had 30, 24, 36. Then he picked Burton for fucking Atlanta. And then Johnson for Coda, which, okay, that was bad luck. But then he back with 36,
Where's my picks?
You picked Bubba Wallace.
So my last 2 are okay.
Yeah, you had Bubba Wallace, Truex Jr. Those weren't terrible. Then you had Logano, who wrecked out.
Should have been good.
Yeah, and then you had Logano again, who gave you 30 points. And then Byron.
That was almost a bad, and then he came back.
Byron at Atlanta, that was a good pick.
Should have been good.
Yeah, Chastain at Coda, Busch at Richmond, and now you have Reddick.
Now, some of those are good finishes.
Yeah.
But with 20 to 10 laps to go, they were looking so bad. Mm-hmm. They were looking horrible.
Like the curse works halfway through and then it just fizzles
so
out.
Far, I'm up and down with my curse. My curse is it's happening. I'm it's a curse.
Mine, I just can't catch a break. I picked Johnson for Daytona. I got 10 points.
Bowman,
I got 33. Then Blaney got 28. Like, oh, okay, I'm working up, And then I picked Chastain for Phoenix. I picked LaJoy for Atlanta. That was a great pick.
It's crapshoot, but yeah.
I picked Jordan Taylor for Coda. Got 17 points out of that one. And then I picked Byron, who should have been a top 5.
Yeah.
And I got fucking...
That's such a tough break.
Yeah, but I got the bonus points because that was originally 17 points. And now I'm picking Larson, so we'll see how that goes.
I think you got a good pick. I hope I have a good pick. I hope I don't curse Reddick. We'll see what everybody else picks.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, Larson's already used up. Harvick's used up. Logano's used up. And again, I gave Jill Raikkonen.
It's a bad pick.
No, it was bad. But, I made all... Except for Hamlin, I made all these picks for her.
You did good with Blaney.
Yeah. And Kazowski.
Yeah.
And then Bowman. I'm doing well. She's doing better than I am. And then I think the last thing that I want to add... Well, 2 things I want to add for Bristol Dirt is that Kaulig is putting Jonathan Davenport in 13 at Bristol.
Who is that?
He is a legend of dirt racing.
Okay.
And he's also going to race the 7 truck for Spire Motorsports.
Okay. So he's racing both.
Yeah, NASCAR, so this is like a dirt course, a dirt track ringer, as opposed to a road course ringer.
Yeah.
See how that plays out.
Okay. You said he's a legend. Is this an older dude, or is he just been...
He's older, but he's like, maybe like... I don't know how old he is. I have no idea.
He's like ancient.
He's not like John Force old, but, maybe like late 40s.
Okay. So still in the prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, he's good now.
Yeah.
And what are you looking forward to most?
Just good. There's gonna be door-to-door racing.
Mm-hmm.
And just good sliding door-to-door racing.
Yeah.
All the slide jobs.
Yeah.
Slide jobs. I'm just looking forward to dirt racing. It's gonna be a good race.
Well, anyway, I guess this is useless right now because I just found out that the last 40 minutes we're not recording, so this is gonna be fun. And I guess on that note, this has been. I don't even know where we left off. I'm kind of pissed now.
Dirt.
We worked about dirt, and I think I was expecting slide jobs.
Slide jobs.
Yeah, so anyway, I guess, I'm expecting good dirt racing and hope to see some exciting finishes. And, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode of the Armchair Roosters podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Joe. My co-host here,
Alex Reckless. I don't know, I was expecting rock and roll.
And that has been episode 9 of the Armchair Roosters podcast. Rock and roll.